Hi, everybody. My name is Bukowski, and I am from Comedy Law and from uh, Improv Law here in Penang. And what I'm going to be doing is some comedy for you today. So I represent the fantastic comedy scene we have up in Penang. We have got lots of comedy events that have been are being organized and have been organized. At the moment, we're doing lots of course online stuff. So please tune in, cheer you up in these dark times. And then when, of course, we get back to civilization and we can start doing live events again, then please come and join us at one of our various venues around the wonderful, beautiful island of Penang. I'm an expat from the UK, and what I'm going to do in this session is do a bit of comedy for you, a bit of stand-up comedy, a little bit of other bits and bobs just for this little section. Um, Very importantly, though, however, this of course is all for raising funds for the Mercy Malaysia COVID-19 pandemic fund. So just a quick shout out for hashtag BeraniBersama. If you've got any social media and you want to link us in, just hashtag BeraniBersama. And this is, like I say, an online fundraiser for Mercy Malaysia COVID-19 pandemic fund. Donations are made through LaunchGood. So how do you donate? You can go to www.launchgood.com/Berani Bersama MY, and the beneficiary is Mercy Malaysia's COVID-19 pandemic fund. Please look underneath for any kind of links and connections in the comments below, and you will have your chance to donate to this very, very worthwhile cause. Anyway, I'm like most people at the minute. I've been stuck at home watching Netflix a lot. I saw The Tiger King, which is really good. I saw The Lion King, something a bit older. Then I watched Dirty Money featuring Najib and saw The Ducking. It's nice that you've got something the equivalent here. The Ducking and the Diving from Najib. Well, I hope you're doing okay with coronavirus. Up in here in Penang, it's hitting businesses quite bad. Many are having to change their names. For example, Grab is now called Pushaway. Food Panda, because pandas from China, is now called Food Penguin, which makes sense because whenever I get their food delivered from them, it's cold. I mean, the advice now is to wash your hands. They say cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, not in my dictionary, it's not. I mean, I'm newish to Penang. When I first arrived at the airport, the first thing someone said to me when I got to the airport, arrived, I just landed, they said to me, "Hey, do you want a grab?" I thought I'm being assaulted here in the airport. I've just got here. In the UK, you have to wait till Sunday and go to church for that sort of thing. In most countries, the taxis are yellow, so you can see them. Okay, you can get in. Here in Penang, they are red, so you can see them and get away from them because they're so dangerous the way they drive. But I got lots of advice when I came here. They said people love to do sports in Penang. Sports are very important in Penang, very, very good. They like football, badminton, and my favorite Penang sport is how many people you can get on a bike, on a motorbike. You can always tell the favorite child in that game. The favorite child gets the helmet. Second favorite child gets the medical card. But yeah, the driving is so bad here, especially the motorbike driving. The people on motorbikes here don't know if they're coming or going, which is why they have their jackets on backwards. If you can't put a jacket on, you shouldn't have a driving license. Okay, that should be the first test. Put the jacket on. Okay, now try and get your hands something out of the pockets. Okay, you failed. You can't ride a bike. I mean, it's crazy. Now, when I was younger, I used to struggle in school a little bit, so they sent me to see the school counselor, the advisor, and she gave me some great advice. So I went in, I was a bit nervous, and she said, "Listen, life is like a box of chocolates." And I said, "Oh, I know this from Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." She said, "No, life is like a box of chocolates. No one likes the ginger ones." Which is weird because she was a redhead too. I said, "People in, this applies equally as it does to you as it does to me. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones." She said, "People in stone houses shouldn't throw glass. What's your point? People in glass houses shouldn't throw orgies." That's the phrase. But I love it here. I do love it in Penang. The food is amazing. It is amazing. I'm proof of that. But people here are obsessed with eating. Okay, your country's obsessed with food when you even feed the ghosts. But it's interesting, the history of Penang. I'm really, really interested in the history of Penang. Obviously, of course, I've been invited here wonderfully to this wonderful country to come and see it. But of course, the British came uninvited before, and the British didn't really understand the locals. And this is a good story to tell you why they didn't, how they didn't, or illustrate how they didn't understand them. So Sir Francis Light, he arrived, and what he wanted to do was he wanted to clear the jungle. So he thought this is a terribly good idea. He had a very good, clever plan. He put loads of silver coins into a cannon and fired the cannon into the jungle. The idea being that they would go and get the coins and clear the jungle. However, this is never going to go down with the well from the people from Penang. Okay, I'll tell you for two reasons. First reason, people from Penang do not like people wasting money. That's not going to impress them. Impress them by giving them the coins, not by shooting them out of cannon. Second thing is people from Penang don't like to be forced to do exercise. Okay? So the people from, I can imagine them on the boat. He fires the silver coins into the jungle. And the Penangites on the boats are going to say to him, what was your plan here, Sir Francis? You want us to get off this boat, climb down the side of the boat, swim to the shore, scramble through the jungle with the snakes and the spiders and the tigers, trying to find these coins, which you could have just given us. They weren't going to be impressed. Well, anyway, I give my friends lots of advice. I had a friend who owned a gym, and he called it Squares. It wasn't doing so well. So he decided to change the name to Circles. He said, "I'm going to make more." He said to me, "Listen, that's what you got to do. Change it from Squares to Circles." He said, "I'm not going to make more money just by cutting corners." I asked my friend who owned the gym, I said, "What's the latest exercise fads?" There's always latest fads going on. I said, "I want to try and get fit." He said, "My friend, try the Jesus Fitness Plan." I tried it. It's good, but it's mostly cross-training. However, I nailed it. Jesus famously turned water into wine. I can turn wine into water, which technically makes me the Antichrist. Which reminds me, the other day I got stopped coming down of Georgetown. Okay, so the idea you come down from Georgetown, maybe you've been drinking. The police are going to stop and just check to see if you've been drinking. And in the UK, what happens if you get stopped and they think you've been drinking? They make you get out of the car, you stand up with your hands by your side, and you have to walk in a straight line. In America, because I've been driving in America as well, what happens is this: they stop you in the car, you have to get out, you put your hands by your side, then you have to raise your hands slowly up to the side, close your eyes, and then touch your nose with your eyes closed to see if you're sober. In Penang, they do it slightly differently, so they still stop the car, you have to get out of the car, you put your hands by your side, then you slowly have to raise your hand up, until you give the police officer a bribe. And then, of course, if you're drunk or not. I told my local friend here from Penang. I said, "Listen, I had to bribe the police officer with 500 ringgit." And he was shocked. He was shocked. He said, "You had to bribe the police officer with 500 ringgit?" I said, "Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah, 500 ringgit is way too much. 500 ringgit is not the bribe for drunk driving. 500 ringgit is for something terrible, like if a man kills a man, or even worse, if a man kisses a man. That's the bribe, 500 ringgit, not just for drunk driving." He said, "You overpaid," and he was exactly right. Because every time the police saw me coming, they would be laughing and joking and cheering. They go, "Hey, look, it's the Englishman! It's the Englishman! It's Patrick's Day. He'll be drunk. Pull him over. We get our money." Next time they saw me, say, "Hey, it's Christmas. It's the Englishman. It's the Englishman. He'll be drunk. Pull him over. We get the money." He said, "Hey, look." Next time they saw me, said, "Hey, look, it's the Englishman. It's the Englishman. He'll be drunk. Pull him over. It's Tuesday." I gave that many bribes and envelopes. When they came down, they used to call me Mr. Ang Pao. "Mr. Ang Pao, Mr. Ang Pao, come here, Mr. Ang Pao. Come on, I need new shoes." The only way I got them to stop was just before the lockdown. They pulled me over. They said, "Where have you been? We missed you, Mr. Ang Pao. We missed you, Mr. Ang Pao." I said, "Well, I've just come back from China. I was a kissogram in Wuhan." After that, they never asked for any money ever again. Okay, just a reminder what this is all about then. So please donate some money to this fantastic fundraiser. So remember, you're looking for hashtag BeraniBersama if you want to share this on any social medias and share this out to help people get involved. This is an online fundraiser for Mercy Malaysia COVID-19 pandemic fund. Donations are made from LaunchGood. So you donate at www.launchgood.com/BeraniBersama MY. Beneficiary Mercy Malaysia's COVID-19 pandemic fund. Please look at the links in below and all the information will be displayed. Please donate. It's a very worthwhile cause. Now, something I've been working on is this something called comedy maths. Okay, so what I'm very I like to think in a mathematical way, and I think I've come up with some formulas that will are essentially comedy maths. So hopefully as I start going through it, you'll understand what I mean. For example, 50% of all pigs are delicious. If cleanliness is next to godliness, then your dictionary is missing 3 sections. In a block of flats, 90% of roofs are also floors. Normally, speed equals distance over time. However, where I come from, if you take speed over any kind of distance, it equals times in prison, especially if you get caught. Half of all zebras are black. 50 Cent is a rapper. Tinfoil is 50% of a Kit Kat wrapper. If you had £1 for every time someone asked you a stupid question, you would be Google. Half of all squares are triangles. Okay, it could be rectangles if you divide them in a different way. I should have worked a bit harder on that joke, but I like to cut corners. And I really think that was an acute joke. E equals MC squared. For me, that is E, capital E, equals M, that has fallen outside. Then we have a small c. Now for me, a small c squared is what I call a fish tank. So now it reads E on its side equals aquarium. Another thing, off comedy maths, that I'm very interested in, I love company taglines. I love it when you hear the company's little advertising slogans and taglines, but I sometimes wonder if they really think them through and really have a good think about them. So for example, American Express, their tagline is "Don't leave home without it." American Express, 1975. Don't leave home without it. Why don't leave home without it? How rough is the place that you live that you can't leave your credit card in your house? What is it? A credit card for people that live in really rough areas with high crime rates? What about Gillette? Gillette, the best a man can get, which is quite depressing. If the best thing you're going to get all day is a shave, that is going to be a pretty depressing day and a pretty depressing life. That's why they have to keep those little guards over the razors. You've had your shave, that's the best I'm going to get all day. May as well just end it. What about Maybelline? Maybelline was a cosmetic company, and they had maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, or maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's not. Have a bit of confidence in your product. If you don't know if it works, how do we know? Same with Carlsberg. Carlsberg, probably the best lager in the world. Have a bit of belief. If it's not the best lager in the world, stop selling it and go and improve it. I don't like it when they don't have any confidence, because if they don't have confidence, I don't have confidence either. What about this then? A Mars a day. Mars a day helps you work, rest, and play. How long are you taking to eat that Mars bar? Think about it. So you start your morning, you're eating a Mars bar, first thing in the morning and work. Then you go for a nap. Helps you rest, eating the Mars bar. Then you go and play squash, and you're still eating the Mars bar. You're eating the Mars bar well too slow, which links to my next thing. M&M's, melts in your mouth, not in your hands. This is the most famous world slogan from the 1950s. Now this is something like Mars bar. Is this a massive problem? How many people are letting chocolate melt in their hands? How long are you holding on to the chocolate? You open the chocolate, you put it in your hand, then you eat it. How long does it take you to do this? Do you forget about it? Leave it in your hand and it's melting? You're just doing something else? I was eating a chocolate bar and now it's melted in my hand. They're solving a problem that shouldn't exist. You shouldn't be taking that long to eat chocolate. What about this one then? Save the Children. Their slogan was "No child born to die." Save the Children, 2011. But everybody's born to die. That's what we call life. It's not a great slogan. What about ESSO? ESSO. Put a tiger in your tank. ESSO, 1964. Now, tigers are dangerous enough without putting them in a tank. But let's be honest, they're not going to be that effective if you do put them in a tank. One, they don't know how to drive. Two, I'm sure they can't operate the turret. Plus, how are you going to get them out of the tank? You stick them in a tank, you try and get them out, they're going to be angry and hungry. It's going to be dangerous to get them outside of a tank. Bad idea, ESSO. Don't put any tigers in tanks. What about this one? You couldn't have this one today. AT&T, phone company in America, reach out and touch someone. Reach out and touch someone sounds like the start of a law firm advert. Did AT&T reach out and touch you? Call Ackman and O'Brien today, so you can sue them. What about this one? Nike, just do it. If you combine AT&T and Nike, you get Donald Trump's internal monologue when he meets a woman he likes. reach out and touch someone, just do it. Which leads you on to Orange. Orange is a telephone company in the UK, and Orange's tagline was, "The future's bright, the future's orange." That could be Donald Trump's tagline. Here's one of my favorite. Apple. Apple, one of the biggest companies in the world. Their tagline is, Apple, think differently. Fantastic, isn't it? Think differently. It's really fantastic. Coming from a company called Apple, the single most common fruit in the world. I'm sure he only came up with that name because that's what Steve Jobs was having one day for lunch. It's lucky Apple was not called cheese sandwich. What about KFC? KFC, finger licking good. That appetizing. They came up with that in 1952. But that actually puts me off. I don't want to go into a restaurant and see people licking their fingers. Is that really appealing? I don't want them to be doing that. Okay, I want to try and eat some chicken. I don't want to be seeing people licking fingers. Which goes on to a bit of a sort of an obsession, I think, that some advertising companies have with licking. I mean, Timex. Timex is a watch company. Timex, this is their logo. Timex takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Is that a big problem? Is licking watch a massive problem that people are going around going, what happened to your watch? It's broken. I licked it. It broke. Imagine you went to a meeting and someone's in there licking a watch. Why? You'd have to say to them, what are you doing? I need to go, it's okay. It's a Timex. What about Skittles? Taste the rainbow. Okay. How do they know what a rainbow tastes like? Who does the taste testing? A leprechaun. Motel 6 was a company in America. Motel 6, their logo was, their tagline was, we leave a light on for you. What about global warming? Motel 6. Okay, if I'm not there, switch it off. Next one, this is a strange one. Gatorade. Gatorade's like an energy drink in America. Gatorade, is it in you? What does that mean? You can't remember drinking it? What's the key ingredients? Water, sugar, and Rohypnol. Not a good drink. If you can't remember drinking it, what was the point in buying it? Gatorade, not a good idea. Meow Mix, that cat food. So Meow Mix tastes so good, cats ask for it by name. No, they don't. If a cat comes up and asks you by name for your cat food, shoot the cat. It's possessed. It's going to go run around the house and kill somebody. Get rid of the cat. I do like car manufacturers as well. They always amuse me, car manufacturers. For example, Audi's tagline, Vorsprung durch Technik, 1982, which means something in German. Honda, their tagline is the power of dreams. But really is a bit worrying. You're not really supposed to be sleeping while you're driving, Honda. Okay? Best cars, best people when they're driving are awake. But there seems again to be a theme. Lamborghini, follow your ears. Again, driving with your eyes shut. Keep your eyes open when you're driving. Stay conscious. I like Mazda's one. Mazda's one is this. This is their tagline. Zoom, zoom. It sounds like it was made by a 2-year-old. They updated it though. They did update it though because they realised it sounds a bit weak. Zoom, zoom. Not very impressive. So what they did, they spent millions in research. They got lots of focus groups together. They looked at all the different demographics. They tried out lots of different taglines, and they came up with a much improved version, which was far more successful. Instead of being called Zoom, zoom, they changed it after all this massive amount of investing in research to Zoom, 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 which obviously is far, far better and worth the millions they spent. Chevrolet, now they like this one. Their tagline was Chevrolet, find new roads. Or as I call it, get lost. I don't want new roads. I want the roads that are going to take me where I'm going. Ford, here's another good one. Ford, go further. Again, it sounds like your sat nav's broke. Go further. I don't want to go further. I want to go to where I'm going and then stop. I don't want to get to where I'm going, carry on going, because then I'll have to come back. Volkswagen are quite good. Volkswagen tagline is Das Auto, which means the car. How lazy is that? That's the best thing you could come up with. What should we have a tagline? The car. That'll do. Finish. Ford are just as bad. They did the same kind of thing. Their name for their car was the KA. One of their cars was called the KA, which is basically a car spelt badly. What should we call this car? Car. What should we call the car? Car. You can't call a car a car. Volkswagen have done it. Well, we'll just spell ours badly. Let's just put KA. Spell it wrong. Done. I think lots of these people that come up with these car names are very lazy, upper class, middle, upper class white people. And I can tell this because you think about the names of cars. They're basically all the upper class white people are interested in. This is the people that they're aiming at. These are the people that made them up. basically things that are on people's minds. So, for example, Volkswagen, they just basically named their hobbies. You have the Volkswagen Golf, Volkswagen Polo. Okay, that's because it's made by upper class white people. That's why you don't have the Volkswagen Darts, because no working class person made up the name of the car. Other companies, their own upper class white guys picking the names, and they didn't go with basically their sports. They went about where they went on holiday. So, for example, see it, have Ibiza. Let's go to Ibiza. Let's have a holiday in Ibiza after we get paid for making up the name for this car. The Hyundai Santa Fe, very nice place. But for Nissan, they couldn't decide where they were going, so they just called their car the Nissan Sunny. You know, we just want somewhere hot and sunny. And then, of course, Ford had the Fiesta. They just wanted a party. Couldn't even bother making up a name. Let's just go for a party. Anyway, let me remind you again what this is for. So we are trying to raise money for the Mercy Malaysia COVID-19 Pandemic Fund through the hashtag BeraniBersama. You can donate through LaunchGood. So donate at www.launchgood.com, BeraniBersama, MY. Okay. Please do. It's a very, very worthwhile cause. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of a lesson, a little bit of a teaching on puns. I like puns. They get a bit of a bad reputation, but I like puns. So I'm going to tell you about the different kinds of puns. So there are various different kinds of puns. First, a homophonic pun is a pun that uses words that sound the same but have different meaning. Okay, so that's very important. But I mean, there are 5 basic kinds of puns. So I'm going to quickly pack all 5 types of puns and jokes in this one set. So 5 in 1, like a king-side kick-ass Kinder Egg. I'm going to tell you some puns and a muse. Cheekily, I sneaked in a little pun there. Talia is the Greek goddess of comedy, who was a muse. Muses are kind-hearted virgin goddesses. If you didn't get it, don't worry, as a virgin, she didn't get it either. Now, technically, double entendres aren't a pun. But if you want, I'll give you one. So, a homophobic pun, as I mentioned, is a pun that uses words that sound the same but have different meanings. For example, Taylor Swift has spoken out that she's keen to kindle support for the Democrats in the upcoming elections. She wants more young girls to go to the polls to take part in an election. Whereas Donald Trump is kind of kinky and keen to see more young girls dancing around polls to give him an erection. A compound pun is a pun that uses places more than one pun in the same sentence. So compound, more than one pun in the same sentence. So, for example, why can't you use a colon at the end of a long sentence? Because they're really rough in prison. A recursive pun is a 2-part pun. The key is you need to quickly understand the first part of the pun in order for the second section of the pun or joke to make sense. For example, this is true. In the Star Wars movies, characters keep losing their arms. Luke Skywalker loses an arm, Darth Vader loses an arm, the Ice Bear loses an arm, C-3PO has both his arms ripped off, the jerk at the bar in the space bar gets his arm cut off, and the list goes on and on and on. The only person who doesn't lose an arm, ironically, is Han Solo. The next kind of pun is a homographic pun. And a homographic pun is not a Grindr profile picture. A homographic pun plays on words that are spelt the same but have a double meaning. For example, I was keen to do a 5k run, so I went for a checkup in a clinic yesterday, and I saw 2 signs just next to each other. One said gynecology advice, and next to it said stroke centre, and I thought, yes, that's good advice. Now, finally, I'm going to do just a little bit something a bit serious at the end here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to and it's very, very important. I'm going to just give a little shout out to Boris Johnson. He's the Prime Minister in the UK, and I'm very, very sort of keen to see that he gets the recognition he deserves. So I'm going to put this on because I'm being very serious about this. So, like I say, I'm Liam Bukowski, and I want to just give you a bit of a speech of the utmost importance. In the current COVID-19 coronavirus crisis, I believe we should take a moment to consider Boris Johnson's actions. What I really want is I want your support with my petition. So I'm going to start up a petition which states that I want Boris Johnson to get the clap. Every week in the UK they applaud the NHS, but what about Johnson? His actions and behaviour, I believe, means he should have had the clap by now. Famously, he doesn't use protection. It stops him getting close to people. It just doesn't feel the same, and he's right. Experts recommend protection, but Johnson follows this down here. That's right, his guts, his considerable guts. Johnson can be hard and stiff when needed, but can also be soft and placid when appropriate. A little rash, maybe, crabby sometimes, but always itching to get into action. Gonorrhea, gonorrhea! We all thought we were a goner here, but he will save us. He could take matters into his own hands, but he doesn't like to do it alone. Famously, he sees women as his right hand. For example, the Home Secretary, Mrs. Patel, told us that of the 974,000 corona tests done in the UK, that's what they told us about. No other government or country or Prime Minister could have done that number of tests. In my opinion, it's impossible. After World War II, we had VE Day, okay, victory in Europe. Then we had VJ Day, victory in Japan. When is Johnson going to get his VD? That's right, his victory day. People may try and stymie this petition. You may think, why me? But take the why me out of the stymie, and you'll see what I'm saying. Johnson is a stud. But if I take you out, what do you get? That's right. This is a test, and I know Johnson will test positive. That's why I need your support. Please make sure you look online about this petition, and if you can sign that as well. Thank you for listening. Okay, we're coming towards the end of the set. So I'm just going to, my little time, I should say, rather than set or series of sets. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to remind you one more time of the fantastic and wonderful charity we're doing this for. So just to remind you that, so my name is Leon Bukowski, and myself and lots of comedians do lots of comedy up in Penang. Look at Penang comedy events if you want to see what's coming up. We've got online events at the moment until the end of this crisis we have at the moment. Eventually, when live gigs come back, we'll be doing live gigs all around Penang. So look out for them on Penang Comedy Events page. Make sure you donate to this fantastic cause we've got today. So you can contribute in various ways. So as well as donating, you can please spread this message through all the different kind of social medias. So add hashtag BeraniBersama. So that's hashtag BeraniBersama. Remember, this is an online fundraiser for Mercy Malaysia COVID-19 Pandemic Fund. You can make donations through LaunchGood. So you can donate at www.launchgood.com/Berani Bersama MY in capitals. And if you want to donate, the beneficiary is Mercy Malaysia's COVID-19 Pandemic Fund. Thank you so much for having me and listening. Okay, hope you found some of that fun. If you come to some of our live events, you'll find comedians like myself and lots of others, really, really funny people. And like I say, it's lots and lots of great events going on. Please support this charity event. Please donate and help others. It's a very stressful time for lots of people I know in Penang and in the whole world. It's a very difficult situation people are finding themselves in. I just want to say I hope Penang gets back on track relatively quickly. It's a wonderful, beautiful island off the edge of Malaysia. I've been here for 3 years now. It's fantastic, fantastic place, and I hope they get back and businesses don't suffer too much. Anyway, like I say, I'm Leon Bukowski. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope you enjoy all the rest of the programs. I know there's some fantastically interesting and wonderful things coming up, and I hope you look at them and enjoy them. Some fantastic art stuff. Again, the art scene in Penang is absolutely amazing. There's loads of fantastic art events going on. It's really a shame that, of course, the Georgetown Festival got cancelled this year, but I know that'll be back really strong next year. So it's fantastic that arts are doing this to support this difficult time for lots of people in Penang, and I hope you can do your support as well. And I hope that you enjoyed this session, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the program, and I hope that you are not doing too bad in what is really a very, very difficult time that we're having here in Penang and Malaysia, and in fact in the whole world. So once again, thank you very much for having me, and I'm going to leave you now and to get on to the next session with some fantastic and wonderful things that are coming up. Okay, thank you very much. Once again, make sure you try and donate to the fund. Look underneath, there's all the links are underneath. They are all there. Launch, donate, share this page, share all this on social media, use the hashtag, and make sure we try and really make a big effort to help people that are really suffering, which we have, of course, here in Penang. Thank you very much. Goodbye.